Hey, friends, it is I, your tarot fairy godmother. We are here. It is time for a Global Tarot Circle. Thank you so much for being here. Let me say hi to some of the people that I can see so far. Melanie, Samantha, Irene, Chrissy, Lisa, Lacey, Marion, Kim, Karen, Claire. You're first to the party. Thank you all for being here. We will welcome others as they arrive. So we're going to be here for the next hour. If you happen to be watching in archive after the fact, I appreciate you being here as well. And I'm hoping our sound quality is better. Last time we had some sound issues. I had to swap out my Yeti. So let me know today if everything sounds okay. If it keeps sounding okay, you let me know. We are always working to upgrade and give you a better presentation. And I'm sorry, when that doesn't happen, technology is, of course, what it is. Okay. Sarah, Laura, so nice to see you joining us. Glad you're here. So to get started, Sarah Jarman, first time here. Very good. Kim Norris got my book today. Thank you so much. Which one did you get, I wonder? And we have our first question. Smile Soul 20 is here with the first question. Disco Bunny is here. I know that's Kristen in Connecticut. So nice to see you all. So, to get started, as I said, we'll be here for an hour. What we want to do is in the first half hour, we want to do readings for each other. And then in the second half hour, we want to do some tarot study. So at that point, we will open the floor to questions that you might have. We know there's one question already about certification. We'll talk about that. And anything else you might want to know having to do with the topic of tarot, particular tarot cards, tarot techniques, tarot spreads, tarot exercises, all kinds of stuff. But to get started, we like to do readings. And we also like to know who's here. Oh, Kim, you got Tarot Tour Guide. Yay, that is so awesome. I'm so glad. Jill, nice to see you. Peggy Lou, glad you're here. Irene's here. Excellent. So do me the favor. We're looking for two things right now. First, let us know where in the world you are and what deck you're working with today. And second, if you have a burning question, go ahead and ask it. We have our first question from Smile Soul 20, and we'll start with that one in just a moment. I will try to get to the questions as I see them in order. And the way that will work is I will pull one card to answer the question verbally. If you would like to do the reading, you'll put the name of the person we're reading for, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation in the comments. Obviously, I can move more quickly than you can because it's easier to talk than it is to type. So take your time. If you want to do every other one or just do the ones you feel drawn to do, that's okay. However it works for you, this is a great exercise in one card reading, single card reading. It is also a great exercise in speed reading and doing things quickly. And so if you are receiving a reading, make sure you read all the way through and read the comments to make sure you get your full reading. And it is always so interesting to see, how the cards come up all across the globe. We really are a global tarot circle. And so how does that work? Are we getting similar cards, different cards? How does that happen? Okay, and we've got a few introductions here. I will let you know that I am in Palm City, Florida, and I am working with Spiral Tarot. Okay, so let's see a couple of introductions, and then we will get to our readings. And so if you do have your cards, get them shuffled. We're going to be getting started with readings in just a moment. And thank you so much, Kim, for getting my book, Tarot Tour Guide. I do appreciate that. Frank Kennedy, so nice to see you. Amy, glad you're here. Peggy Lou is here from Oak Hill, Florida, using the Star Tarot. I just saw that one. That is a beauty, isn't it? So nice. Sarah is here from Miami using the Rider-Waite-Smith. Can't go wrong with that. Karen Winkle in Vancouver, Washington, using Everyday Witch Tarot. Great deck. Gloriana, nice to see you here. Laura is in Kona, Hawaii, using Kickstarter's Oz Tarot. Very good. Melanie, nice to see you in Chicago with the mini pagan cats. Lisa is in Greenville, South Carolina. Irene is in Minnesota using Chakra Wisdom Tarot. Very nice. Kim Morse is in Port Richey, Florida, using Seventh Sphere Tarot. Okay, and Marion is in Scotland using the RWS today. And let's see, Samantha is in Sarasota using Tarot of the Spirit. Hey, Serena Fox, so nice to see you here. Lacey is in New York City using Ethereal Visions. What a beautiful deck. We're getting a lot of love for the new Yeti mic. Looks like it's working. Very good. Thanks for that feedback. Sarah Jarman in Massachusetts just ordered Tarot Tour Guide. Yay, thank you. Let me know what you think of it using RWS. Deirdre Martin, so nice to see you. Jill is just down the street from me in Stewart, Florida, using the Rider-Waite. Disco Bunny is using the Golden Girls Tarot. So great. Claire is in Mayaka City. Is that how you pronounce it here in Florida? Using the Radiant Rider-Smith-Waite. Erin is in Massachusetts using Dark Mansion. Okay, very good. Thank you all so much for taking the time to introduce yourselves. And let's get going with our first question. I'm now scrolling back to find that first question, which is from Smile Soul 20. If you would like to do this reading, at Smile Soul 20, the name of the card you got in your interpretation, a real open, easy question. What does the universe want me to know? What does the universe want Smile Soul 20 to know? Let's take a look and see. The Nine of Swords reversed. It feels like you've been going through a difficult time. Maybe you've been feeling depressed. Maybe you're having a hard time sleeping. Maybe there's something upsetting you. But because this card comes up reversed, I believe that things are actually getting better. This is on one hand an encouragement to work to be better, but also an acknowledgement that you may indeed be feeling better, or some of the things that have been upsetting are starting to subside. Okay, on to the next reading. Hang on one second here, just scrolling through. Okay, Sarah. Sarah, I'm such a happy, optimistic person, but my boyfriend always sees the negative things. I've communicated that I want to be with someone who is positive like me. He wants to change. So, okay. He wants to change. Should I keep waiting and give him a chance, or is it time to move on? And I know what a difficult question that is. I know how hard that is. Let's see what we got going on here. If you would like to do this reading, at Sarah, that's S-A-R-A, the name of the card you got in this interpretation, is there hope for this relationship? And, here's the thing. I'm going to jump in with a teachable moment here, if you don't mind. He wants to change. We've done some classes where I've talked about breaking out the question. Honestly, by the rules of the game that we play here, we have to answer the question that was asked and all of that. But just as a teachable moment, if you were sitting at my table, we were doing a reading, and you were to say to me, he wants to change, that would be my first question. But does he? But does he? Because therein is really the crux of the biscuit. How does he really feel about this? And so if we had all the time in the world, or at least a good half hour, that's where I would want to go. How is he feeling about this? Does he want to change? What are the steps you could take to make this change? So that's the teachable moment here, but I'm going to go ahead and do the question as written, as I encourage you to do too. If you'd like to do this reading, at Sarah, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do we do with this relationship? 10 of Swords. So honestly, This does not bode incredibly well, but I think my inclination to really look at all of those questions, to really truly look at, okay, does he really want to change? Maybe we should do a reading for you in the second half as a teachable moment. I'll show you how. Remind me, if you're still around, ask this again when we get to the halfway mark. Ask about creating a reading around an issue, creating a spread. And if you don't mind, I will show you my technique for creating a spread, and we can really dig into this. Because while the Ten of Swords is not the happiest card, very often for me, it can say, well, you really need to ask a lot more questions. You need a lot more information before you make a decision here. And so there's that. Let's see what some of the other cards are. Okay, Lacey, is May a good time for me to go to LA? If you'd like to do this reading, at Lacey Rogovin, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation, go to LA in May. Four of Cups reversed. It's okay. There may be other times that are good too. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, you have to go in May, but it's okay. See what the other cards are. Poor Karen. We have been working so hard to try to get this taken care of. What on earth will it take to get my leg evaluated by a medical professional? This is so crazy. And I swear to goodness, I think a lot of the problem is COVID. That it's just everything is really, really hard and taking a long time. Feels like things are crumbling all around us anyway. They're not, but it feels that way. But the fact that this has been so difficult, Karen, it's such a hard thing. So if you'd like to do this reading at Karen Winkle, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, 8 of Wands. This is very clearly a spiritual exercise for you. You are not good at asking for what you want. You have to ask and ask and ask and call and call and call and bang on people's doors. Karen, you have to be a Karen. You have to fly the Karen flag in all its glory and see what you can do to get seen as quickly as possible. We are all in agreement that you need to be seen. This is not right. And, but I think spiritually, this is happening not to do damage to your leg or to screw up your son's wedding. This is happening to teach you to quickly advocate for yourself. And I know you've been doing that, but you need to do it until it works. It reminds me, this is going back many years, but I needed an attorney for a particular thing. And I called like 8 attorneys and none of them would help me. And so I went to my partner and I said, I can't get an attorney. He said, how many attorneys have you called? I said, 8. And he said, well, you're going to keep calling attorneys. Are there only 8 attorneys in the phone book? I know we had phone books back then. That's how long ago it was. No, there's many more attorneys. Well, you call every single one until you find the right one. And not only did I find the right one, I found one who was so moved by my situation that she cut her rates to a nominal charge. So I learned a really important lesson that day, that sometimes the spiritual lesson is you keep trying till you get it, no matter what. So there's that. Okay, Samantha in Sarasota. Will I be successful in my desire to be a professional reader? All right, let us do that reading. If you'd like to do that reading at Samantha79, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, the Fool. Abso-freaking-lutely, yes. You have to do it, though. You have to get out there and you have to make it happen. You have to do the journey. But yes. And there's some sense to me there that there's almost like a spiritual rightness or sense of destiny. And I don't really like to use that word destiny. But there, with the Fool, you sort of feel a sense of rightness to that journey, don't you? Okay. Okay, and Lisa Harmon is here just listening. Feel free to ask a question if you like, though, Lisa. And you've got your Hanson Roberts mini. Frank is working with his steampunk. Marta, nice to see you. Nicole, nice to see you. Okay, Jill Watson. Will the job search continue for my son much longer? He goes through several rounds of great interviews, then companies apologetically put on a hiring freeze. And I think a lot of that, has nothing to do with him and is not spiritual. I think it's just where we're at in these crazy times. But let's take a look. We're looking at, when will he get a job, a real good job offer? If you'd like to do this reading, at Jill Watson, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. 5 of Pentacles, it's coming. He should not give up hope. He is likely to get a good offer. And for me, with the 5 of Pentacles reversed, I'm thinking maybe even as quickly as May. So tell him not to be discouraged. Tell him to just keep moving forward. Deirdre, days have been crazy lately. What does the universe want me to know? If you'd like to do this reading, at Deirdre Martin, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What does the universe want Deirdre to know? Knight of Wands, to remember your passions, to remember your creativity, to not let things that are going on in your life suck the joy out of you, but rather move forward using your passions and your creativity to bring you where you want to be. Okay. Hey, Robin Renee, nice to see you. Robin Renee is the one who gave me the name of Fairy Godmother, which I am just wearing so proud. I'm so happy with that. Okay, Kim Morris, what's going on with my Gemini? If you would like to do this reading, go ahead. The name, Kim Morris, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. And when we say this, I believe the Gemini is a romantic interest. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what we're asking here. And we got the 5 of Wands reversed. I feel like I just feel so meh and blah about that. It's not that I feel like there's a terrible problem here, but I also feel like this person is not feeling terribly motivated toward anything. And that could be an issue. Okay, and here's another Kim Cervantes. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Did I make the right decision in regards to a long-term relationship that ended about 2 months ago? Okay, if you'd like to do this reading, at Kim Cervantes, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The star reversed. If the decision was not to be in this relationship, I think it was the right decision because the relationship was not going to be able to give you what you needed. And Serena is in Vermont using the steampunk. We've got a couple people using steampunk here today. And lots of great readings going on. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I have a personal opinion here, but okay, so here's another teachable moment. Because I have read on this issue before, I have an opinion about this next question. And that's not an opinion from the cards. That's not an opinion from the fairy godmother. That's an opinion from me, which no one freaking wants. If you want my opinion, you can buy me a drink. But no one, and I mean no one on this planet, really wants my opinion about anything. What people want is my opinion based on what comes up in the cards. And I think that's so important. So when you're about to do a reading where you know you have a personal opinion, as I'm about to do right now, you have to work really hard to take that opinion and put it to the side because no one cares and no one wants that. And we cannot use the cards as a way to parade around our own thoughts and feelings. A lot of people do that and sometimes we do it unconsciously, but we have to really try really hard to be conscious of this. So I am consciously putting my feelings about this person and what has happened in the past to the side so that I can give a legit reading and not skew the reading based on my own opinion and my own concern for the well-being of this person. Okay, and this person is Robin Renee. The question is, Jay would like to work on the relationship again. I told him we can talk after finals. Should I trust him? Now, the girlfriend in me over a pina colada wants to say, hells to the no. Let's see what the cards say. And let's see what your cards say. If you would like to do this reading at Robin Renee Albritton, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do we think? Should we trust Jay? The Princess of Pentacles reversed, which would be like the Page of Pentacles reversed. So on one hand, that seems like, yes, very literally, we will talk after finals. I think that you gave him the right answer. And, this is going to be its own litmus test. Because if he is willing to be patient with you and your life, if he is willing to say, okay, fine, good luck with good luck with finals. I'll just wait in the background here until it's time. If he's willing to do that, then it's good to have a conversation. He's worthy of a conversation. Because if you think about it, Page of Pentacles reversed, we'll talk when I'm finished with my work. That's what this card very literally says, which is what you said to him. So it does not answer the question, should you trust him or should you not? It congratulates you on setting up a scenario where he can choose to prove himself or not. If he chooses to be respectful and wait, then at least it's worthy of a conversation. If he doesn't, it was a self-limiting problem. Okay. Baby Cakes, nice to see you here. Is this week going to get more ridiculous for me? A lot of people are having a tough week this week, I have to tell you. I need this week to be over, please. Can I have a better week next week? Is next week going to be a good one? That's my question. I am so sorry. I'm not laughing at your sorrow, Baby Cakes. A lot of people I know have been having a really tough week. Oh, my goodness. So I guess we're going to use that final question. Will next week be better? Or maybe even, what advice can we give Baby Cakes around dealing with such a lousy week and going into next week with a better attitude? Sometimes we just have to say, what does Baby Cakes need to know about what's going on here? So however you want to phrase that question, let's see what we got. At Baby Cakes, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. 4 of Cups reversed. I think next week will be a little better than this week. But also this card says you have to be really careful about your attitude. You have to be careful not to let the difficult things that have been happening keep you from your joy. You can't let them steal your peace. Of course, you have to acknowledge the suckitude of what's going on, of course. But try to look to the light anyway. Okay. And remember, if you're reading for someone, make sure you put their name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Okay, lots of great readings. Okay. Samantha, this is why you're my fave. You never pull punches. I try not to be a bitch. I try to be nice. Well, I'm a redheaded Scorpio. So, I do my best to be nice. But yeah, I feel like we gotta be honest here, right? Gotta be. Okay. Lots of great readings here. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this process. Here we go. Here's the next reading for Marion K. Tarot. And make sure you check out her channel here on YouTube. which is called, by the way, Marion K. Tarot. What does the universe want me to know? If you would like to do this reading for Marion, at Marion K. Tarot, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Temperance reversed. You know, it's not easy. It's just not easy. I've got that song. Was that a Beatles song? You know it ain't easy. Is that a Beatles song in my head? I'm dating myself, but I mean, I guess my gray hair dates me too. So hey, it is what it is. Marion, the question is, do we just need more patience, or do you really need to procure some specific knowledge or tools or connections to get what you want? There is something here that is not happening the way you want. You're going to have to figure out, is it within your purview to do anything about it? If it's not, then you just be patient and you wait. But this asks you, is there something you need to do? Are you missing an ingredient? And do you have to go out and get that ingredient? That's the question. Melanie likes the name Fairy Godmother. I do too. You know, I started doing this when I was much, much, much younger and had a much different presentation. And, you know, when I was in my 30s, I could be the young, sort of sexy tarot reader, and that was fun. But as I approach 60, I'm a whole different beast. And so Fairy Godmother, I think, is going to work for the next 20 years. And I'm really grateful for that, because I was searching for what that was going to be. All right, Lisa, here's the question. Will I receive the check from the insurance company? Paperwork has been submitted and I'm waiting for an answer. Okay, if you'd like to do this reading, at Lisa Harmon, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Will I receive the check from the insurance company? Ooh, Page of Swords reversed. It may be that there was a piece of paperwork you forgot to sign or didn't fill out. It may be that you're going to have to track this down. It is not going to be simple. It's not going to be easy. Stay on top of it. And let's see what other people have to say. Hey, Sage and Shadow is here. This is our good friend, Nancy Hendrickson. So glad that she's here today. You may know her as Nancy Sage Shadow, the author of Ancestral Tarot. So happy to have her on board here today. Okay, question from Nicole. Okay, I've been dealing with a serious morbid constipation problem. My body holds on to what I eat for a few days in a row. Specialists can't see me right now because of COVID. Will I ever get this cured? Man, many of us have real sympathy for this. This is not an easy thing. Is it like an IBSC diagnosis? Any diagnosis? Do we know what's up there? And we also know when it comes to this kind of thing, like we know what Louise Hay would say about it, like, let the shit go, for God's sake, right? You know, like I would sort of ask, is there something emotionally, something that's happened in the past, some sort of grief that you're hanging on to and your body is responding to that? But, you know, sometimes it's not that at all. Sometimes it's not an emotional or spiritual connection. So let's do the reading and see. Okay, if you'd like to do this reading, at Nicole Mezzatasta. Oh man, I butchered that one. I'm so sorry. The name of the card you got and your interpretation. Knight of Swords reversed. I feel like there really is a mental or emotional component here. You may also need to drink more water. I know that sounds simple, but that may be part of it. And you need a new doctor. The specialist can't see you. Find a specialist who can see you in a virtual meeting or whatever. Find a doctor to talk to you. You need to get together with Karen Winkle, and the two of you need to do magic to make doctors talk to you. I swear to goodness. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for doing such great readings. Hey, Jake5345, that's Robin. So nice to see you. Hey, here's a question from Peggy Lou. I want to sing that. Like, I know it's Peggy Sue, but it rhymes. So I want to sing you a little song, but I won't. Okay. Should I take off on a solo road trip this summer? Great question. If you'd like to do this reading, at Peggy Lou Levens, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do you think? Nine of Pentacles reversed. Sadly, I'm going to say no. It may be a financial issue. It may be a health or safety issue, that it's just not right or ready for that. So think about what you can do that would be fun. Maybe it's got to be shorter little day trips instead or something like that. Hey, Cynthia, so nice to see you. Another great question. Should I relocate to another state? At Cynthia Aparicio, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Should she move to another state? We'd love to see you here in Florida. Four of Swords reversed. I'd say it's worth considering. Okay, so at this point, this is definitely last call for tarot readings. If you've asked a question, I'm scrolling through and looking for it. We're going to try to get through it, try to get to it. Okay, and we'll do Neil. Hi, Neil. Nice to see you. If you'd like to do this reading, at Neil Catrano, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Should I reopen my Airbnb? Let's see what we see. Ace of Cups. Yes, you should. I think so. I think it's time. All right. So definitely last call for questions for a tarot reading, and the floor is open for questions about tarot. Now, we're going to do a teachable moment with Sarah. She has volunteered, and I'm going to show you a process using her genuine question of how to, when you're confronted with a question that has a lot of moving parts, and most questions do, how can you create a spread or a dialogue around that? And so she's volunteered to be a guinea pig. So we're going to do that. But we have a half hour. So if you have a question about a card, about a technique, about a spread, about a deck, about anything having to do with tarot, about ethics, we also had a question about certification. So we're going to take care of that as well. Any other questions? That way the floor is now open. For those questions, let me scroll through. And thank you so much. I really appreciate the readings that you're doing. I appreciate the interactions you have with each other. I also see your kind words for me, and I thank you all so very much for that. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Just so much fun feedback. Definitely read the comments. And if you go back to look after, it takes 24 hours for the comments to show up after the broadcast, FYI. Here we go. Okay, Claire C. Will my daughter find peace if she reconnects with her father? If you'd like to do this reading, at Claire C, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Two of Swords reversed. If she does not have peace within herself, she will never find it without. She can connect with her daughter, with her father, and that's fine, but he's not going to bring her any peace. He didn't bring you any peace. Okay. Oh my gosh, Nicole IBSC. Yeah, that's a hard one. It really is. Okay. And again, I thank you all so much for your comments. I am going to read one of them aloud. Please like this video. Thank you, Robin Renee. Everyone, please like this video. Okay. Just going through. Just going through here. Okay, let's talk about certification. If you have a comment on this topic, tag it certification and tell us what you think. What do you think about tarot certification? Hey, Iva, nice to see you. Ooh, and here's a question. So, okay, let us know your thoughts about tarot certification, tag it certification. This is from Kim Morse. I heard another reader say the High Priestess is about secrets. I've never heard that before. Is that a common keyword for her? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She is silent. She keeps secrets. She knows the secrets. She knows what is beneath the veil. She knows what is in the underworld. She knows the secrets that we will not find out until we die. Literally. So if anyone has anything else to say about the High Priestess, just tag High Priestess. So certification. I did get certification. I got certification from the Tarot Certification Board, and now they're defunct. I still use my certification because it helps me in certain situations. Here's the thing. If it's expensive, I'd really look at that. You know, it shouldn't be expensive. If it's an expensive certification, then what you're really looking at are the classes. Are the classes worthwhile? And can you find classes like that elsewhere? I'd be very, very, very careful. A lot of people really try to sell the idea of certification for way too much money, and it's not worth it. And also look at the reputation of the person giving the certification, because that's important too. Okay. And here is, here's one more reading question. Let's go ahead and do it. For Iva Morris, concerned about husband's health. If you'd like to do this reading, at Iva Morris, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. King of Pentacles. Now, that's not to say that everything is going to be hunky-dory, but that feels good to me. I feel like as long as he does what he needs to do, things are likely to be okay. But he needs to do what he needs to do. Okay. So this is a question about tarot from Neil. Is it a thing that when I read for myself that the outcome of the questions doesn't always happen immediately? It always seems to happen 2 days later, horoscope too. You know, everyone has their own relationship with the universe. And so if that's how it works for you, that's how it works for you. I totally get it. So it's a thing for you. And so I would love to hear about that from other people. If you read for yourself and if you read predictively for yourself, is there a time frame where it usually takes? Like for Neil, it's 2 days. In 2 days, whatever he sees, that's what's going to happen. How does that work for you? Tag it self-reading and let us know. Melanie, all info about certification is welcome. Community standards are important, but that requires a consensus across the field. Agreed, which there is not. You know, we all have our own sort of take on things. I think there are some people who have a better reputation in terms of their integrity than others. But it's a hard thing. And, you know, I even see it, even though I don't offer a certification, I see it with my own students that I don't mean to, but a lot of the people who study with me who go on to be professional do have a particular reading style that is not the same as mine, but you can see that they got, you know, you can see that they're my godchildren. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think that that's interesting that, you know, if you study with a certain person, and this is why I encourage everyone to have many teachers, because that will help you develop your own style. So it's an interesting thing, right? Okay, Serena says yes to the Airbnb. And, okay, just going through here. Cynthia, I always have a Queen of Wands in my readings for myself or others. Why do you think that is? Well, very interesting. Do you identify with the Queen of Wands? Do you see her potentially as your significator? What is your sun sign? Is your sun sign a fire sign? Very often, if that happens, it could indeed be you. Anyone else have a thought on that? Tag it Queen of Wands. Samantha, is there a relationship between you and the cards, one deck or another? You know, different people have different takes on that. If I am reading for someone who's also a reader, I'm happy to read with their own deck, a deck I've never touched before. I'll read with it. Some people feel really, really bonded with their cards. Some people are animists and believe that their cards are like almost like literally alive. So that's such a personal thing. I'd love to hear where you sit with that. What is the relationship between you and your cards? Tag it relationship, and let's see what you see. For me, my relationship is with tarot as a whole. I have a very, very deep and profound relationship with the tarot corpus, with everything that is tarot, with all the decks. I have at my fingertips right now, I have 4 tarot decks right here. I don't even have to get up, right? And so it is not my relationship with the deck. I'm going to wear the deck out. And this is pretty new. In another 3 months, this deck is going to be unusable because it's going to be so schmutzy. And when I say unusable, I'll use it as a student deck back, when I have in-person students again. I'll keep it. But I won't use it professionally because it gets schmutzy. So I can't have a relationship with the deck because if I did, I'd be brokenhearted when I need new cards every 3 months. So that's me. Okay, Claire, regarding the self-reading question, Neil's question, usually the same day, but sometimes up to a week. Very good. Marion, certification. I see a Facebook ad offering certified courses for $1,000, preaching you could be a professional reader in 4 weeks. This is the danger, in my opinion. Heck to the yes. That is the danger. Yes, yes, yes. It takes years to become a good reader, worthy of being professional. Seriously. Karen, recertification. I'm always skeptical of certification. How can you certify someone's intuition? Absolutely. Melanie, I would really value a certification type progressive learning course from me. You're not the first person to say that, and one day that may indeed happen. But it would be, I certify that you took my class. Okay, Disco Bunny, self-reading. Tarot, 2 days, dreams, 2 weeks. Okay, Cynthia, your sign is Sagittarius, so you're a fire sign, so the Queen of Wands is probably you. Claire, the Thoth deck seems to guide me with self-knowledge, while the Rider deck helps with relationships. Why is this? Some people do seem to find that they have different relationships or different purposes for different decks. That is a real thing, not for everybody, but for some people. And if that's how it's working for you, you're not alone. Sarah, I've heard that you should shuffle with your left hand because the left side is associated with feminine, intuitive, and receptive energy, allowing you to receive true, accurate cosmic wisdom. Okay, so when I go back to in-person readings, I'm not letting anyone touch my deck, but I am going to have them pass their hands over my deck, and we will use the put your energy into the deck with your right hand and prepare to receive its wisdom with your left hand. But I have to ask, how does one shuffle with one hand? How in the world would that work? How do I do that? So I would say that for me would be biologically impossible. But the idea that the left side is receptive, that's why we wear wedding rings on the left hand, closer to the heart, but also receptive, and on the water finger, right? Okay. Melanie, regarding relationship with the cards, I found a connection to RW and S, but not so much the oracles, nor the Lenormand, nor other systems. Peggy Lou, relationship. I'm addicted to tarot. I just got the Star Tarot today. I'm a tarot junkie. Lacey, certification. To me, that usually means a person has completed a course. Being certified doesn't make someone good. All right. Peggy Lou, certification. I'm working on it with Ethany Dawn. I have a lot of respect for Ethany. It's not easy, but I'm learning a lot. I would have to say, of all the people offering certification right now, Ethany is a good choice. Sarah, you hold them in your left hand and most of the overaction happens in your right hand. I don't even know how that would work. Shuffling, and I mean, obviously I'm a professional reader. I shuffle a lot. There's another song I could sing for you about how every day I'm shuffling. But see, I'm not going to sing any songs for you. No, I'm not. I think when it comes to shuffling, you got to do what doesn't cause the cards to go flying all over the place, and doesn't damage the cards too much. But, to cut them to the left with your left hand, sure. But yeah, I think shuffling is hard enough without having to put those rules on it. Just saying. Okay, now, so let's go to this teachable moment with Sarah. If you remember, or if you weren't here to begin, Sarah's a very positive, upbeat person. Apparently her boyfriend is Mr. Negativo. She is finding this difficult. He tells her he wants to change. What should she do about it? Now, I don't know what the other cards were that came up. I know that when I pulled one card, I got the Ten of Swords. So let's take a look. How would we do this? I might sit down with a piece of paper and actually draw out a spread. And I might pay attention to where I put the cards. Like, okay, here's you. Here's him. Here's why you're in his life. Here's why he's in your life. And go through it that way. For the sake of ease here, I'm going to do it as a dialogue. And I've taught you the dialogue method before, so maybe you've seen this before. But we're going to start with, he says he wants to change. Let's start with, who is he really? And we get the Knight of Swords reversed. He is not terribly self-aware. He's not great at looking at himself. The Three of Cups, he wants to have fun. He wants to go places and do things. He doesn't want to do the deep work. Queen of Swords reversed. There may be some family issues here. It may be that tendency toward negativity is a learned behavior or even a genetic behavior. So that's some stuff that we know about him. When he says he wants to change, what does that mean? The Queen of Pentacles, to me, that means he does not want to lose you. Two of Swords reversed, likewise, does not want to lose you. Hierophant reversed, does not want to lose you. Does he think that his perception of the world needs to change? How does he feel about his perception of the world? Four of Pentacles. I think he doesn't want to lose you, and he will say whatever he needs to say. Now, is there a way that you could just sort of accept the way he is and not let him rain on your parade and still have a good relationship with him? Is that possible? Yes, the Lovers. So the thing is, it may not be so much about making him change. He may not know how to change. It may be about recognizing that this is his response, the Tower. This is his response to what he's been through in his life and what is true about his family. But then there's this cold, hard question. Might you, if you were not with him, might you be able to find somebody else that would match your energy better, with whom you would be happier? Ten of Pentacles reversed, not necessarily. So what should you do at this time with this relationship? Two of Cups. And this is not to say that you should marry him right now or be with him forever, But it is to say that there are probably reasons that the two of you are together, right now. And so it is probably worth not even trying to do the inner work, but just trying to find the ways on which you do connect. Sarah says, he is totally avoiding doing the inner work. It scares him because he has to face some childhood trauma. There's the tower. Yes, I agree. He is saying whatever he needs to say to keep me around. And I think that, so there's a question. Will he ever work through that trauma? The Wheel of Fortune, when he's damn good and ready, he will. And will that make a difference in the relationship? Three of Swords reversed. Yes. If he heals, the relationship will heal. So, do you see how we just came up with a lot of different questions? Do you see how that could be a tarot spread? And do you see how that worked as a dialogue? So, going back to the shuffling. Disco Bunny, I only shuffle with my left. I shuffle vertically with my right hand as a shelf. I'm very ambidextrous, but not with shuffling, which I've always found interesting. Okay. And so that would be, I'm assuming, holding the cards this way and doing it like that. Is that right? Doing the overhand shuffle. Now, see, I do shuffle this way, but for me, that does not give a good enough shuffle. I want so much random energy, and I really like the riffle and bridge. So there I am. Okay. Max likes my drum. I do too. Okay. So Mystics Haven wants the same relationship reading. So does Sarah. So here's the thing. This is a good thing because I don't know if you've noticed, but there are some YouTube channels that give a join option. You can subscribe and you can join. And if you go to join for a small amount of money, you can get access to exclusive content. And you're going to have the option to join soon. I'm working on it now. And I've been looking at what are some things that we could do. That would be a fun session, right? Get together and dialogue on relationships. That would be a good exclusive sort of a session to, for everyone who shows up, we're going to do that. So that makes a lot of sense. However, you also have a chance of getting that done by showing up at our next meetup, because I'm always happy to do some stuff in our meetups. So we don't have time to do more than one, but either way that could work. Max, I overhand shuffle and read cards that jump out, and they do and are always accurate. They even jump out the exact number of cards. Sure, that can work. If you let them jump, that can work. Absolutely. So any other thoughts about the High Priestess or the Queen of Wands? We were talking about secrecy or silence for the High Priestess. And we were talking about the Queen of Wands for Cynthia. I figured because she's Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, it's her, right? But any other thoughts? I'd love to hear. What about the High Priestess? Now, the High Priestess is such an interesting card because, yes, it can talk about, the High Priestess can talk about silence, can talk about secrecy, can also talk about perfectionism. Marion says, well, you could also book a reading. Thank you. Jill, when are the Palm City meetups resuming? That's an interesting question. I've been thinking I'm opening the office to the public in June, and we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking about resuming the Panera meetups June or July. I'm thinking we'll be right. If that feels right to everyone. I don't know if we'll get the same numbers that we used to. We used to get 25 people. I don't know if we still will, but that's okay. You know, whoever shows up, shows up. And I think that's fine. So it'll happen this summer. We're going to get there. Lacey says, I've always found breaking a reading down into the best possibly formed questions has been a challenge for me. So in our last few minutes, let's talk about why is this challenging? What is it that's challenging about finding all of those questions? Can you dig into that a little bit? Can you extrapolate on that a little bit? Why is it a challenge? And what about other people? Finding all of the questions within the question. I think that's really so important. How is that challenging? Peggy Lou, you'll be 59 in July, and I'll be 59 in, is that true? Will I be 59? Yeah, I will, in October. So how cool. We can be fairy god sisters. Lisa, I've always felt a connection to the Queen of Wands. I'm a double Aries, sun and rising. Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. The Queen of Wands is my court card significator. I'm a Leo rising. So I absolutely use that. So at this point, I want to hear questions about the ways in which it is challenging to find those questions. And as we are coming to the end of our time together, it's also time for shameless self-promotion. If you have a blog post, a class, an Insta account, a YouTube channel, a website, anything you would like to share with us, please do. Lisa has a birthday next week, being 66. Awesome. Thank you, Max, for the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate that. So, Betty, I'm jealous I can't be at the Panera Bread meetings. I know, we have so much fun. We really do. We really do, yeah. And Betty, nice to see you here. Glad you're here. So do remember to like this video. Any questions about how to break down those questions, and you know, for me, it's really easy, but I think it's part of my personality. My family jokes with me because I will always ask, like, if you say one statement, like if you say, I saw Beth at the store today, I'm going to say, what was she wearing? How's her cat? How's her husband doing? Is she still working her job? I mean, I'm super curious. And so for me, it's really easy. Karen has a birthday next week. Happy birthday. And you'll be 59 too. You can be a fairy godmother too. Yay. Very good. Happy birthday. Okay. Samantha says, whenever I shuffle from boredom, I have the Page of Cups. So that could have a lot to do with a message of love from those in spirit, by the way. Adina, that's Scorpio investigation. Right, it's my Scorpio nature. Oh, is next week the Zoom class? You know, we are coming up at this. We are coming up on this. We do have a Zoom class coming up, my friends. The Zoom class is a Tarot Flow workshop, or if you say it the other way, it's the Tarot Flow workshop. We're going to be working on exercises with intuition, interpretation, and reading in order to get into the flow, how to get into the flow. It's not next week, it's the week after. Literally 2 weeks from right now, on the 22nd of April, you need a ticket. To get a ticket, go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com, go to events and get your tickets. Okay, so happy birthday to all who are having birthdays. Cynthia, High Priestess is the keeper. She reminds you to rely on your intuition. Sure, absolutely. Okay, so drop your shameless self-promotion. I also want to let you know we have a free class coming up. I think it is. Yes, it is. This Sunday, the 11th, 4 o'clock, Minor Arcana doubles. What do I mean by that? I figured out this week, as people have you here, that's a free class. Tickets for the Zoom class, $37.50. Okay. So I look forward to seeing you at the free class here on Sunday. at the Zoom class, April 22nd. So I'm doing all my live reads here on YouTube. I am not sure if there's going to be a Friday weekly wrap-up tomorrow. Usually I do it at noon. I'm not available at noon tomorrow. I might do it early in the morning, or it might just not happen. Saturday, I anticipate being back here 12:30 Eastern time, 12:30, like noon 30, for your Saturday Psychic Sampler. That's where you get to ask a question about anything at all, a specific question. I give you a specific answer. So join me there. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate your participation. And I will look forward to seeing you soon. If you have not liked this video, please do so. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And be on the lookout for that join button. That's going to be up within the next couple of weeks. It's going to give you a way of supporting this channel if you would like to do that. It's going to give you some fun perks and some added content. So we're looking forward to all of that. I want to thank you all so much for being part of my tarot community. I will look forward to seeing you soon. Take really good care.